In 1989, Jason Voorhees decided it was time to leave the woods behind and head for the big city. After 7 films of terrorizing camp counselors at Crystal Lake, the iconic slasher traded the pine trees for a luxury liner and the neon lights of the concrete jungle. It was a bold move that promised a change of scenery, a high body count, and the ultimate urban showdown. Did it deliver? Stay tuned to find out. Pack your bags, board the Lazarus, and when you get to New York, be sure to avoid the sewers filled with toxic waste. As Charlie Cotter, Nicholas Pepin, Laramy Wells, and I discuss Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, on this episode of the 80s Flick Flashback Podcast. Welcome to the show, everybody. I am your host, Tim Williams. To help me navigate these murky waters, I brought in a crew of true survivors. First up is a man who knows that if you see a hockey mask in the engine room, you should probably just jump ship. It's Charlie Cotter. Welcome back to the show, Charlie. How you doing?
I'm good, Tim. Thanks for having me. I've seen my fair share of hockey masks.
Yeah. Next, he's been here so many times, he's practically teleporting from scene to scene, just like Jason in this movie. It's Nicholas Pepin from Pop Culture Roulette. How you doing, Nicholas?
This podcast is doomed.
And finally, he's the one who survived more Friday the 13th than a final girl. It's Laramy Wells from Moving Panels Podcast.
Tim, the first thing you were supposed to do was blow the horn indicating the maritime, whatever the crap.
Whatever the, yeah.
Laramy's our final girl.
Thank you. Thank you. I did just finish reading Final Girl Support Group, so
yeah. right in line. All right, yeah. So I was telling the guys before we started recording, is this a bittersweet podcast? Is the final entry of Friday the 13th in the 80s, or is this a sweet because it is the final Friday the 13th entry of the 80s? But we've come a long way.
Yes. And it's the final Friday because the other two aren't even called Friday the 13th.
Yeah, the next one was Freddy versus
Hell.
Oh, Jason Goes to Hell. That's right.
Jason Goes to Hell.
Then Jason X. Yeah. Yeah. So they dropped.
Well, there was the
remake
slash
reboot. Running
sequel.
Jason.
Well, we still have part 9. That's next, and then you have.
Well, that's part 9 is Jason Goes to Hell.
Yeah, and then you have that's when we get Freddy involved.
Gotcha. Yeah. I just love the title, Jason Takes Manhattan, like the musical version.
Jason Takes Manhattan eventually.
Yes. Let's jump right in. Yeah, let's jump right in. All right, well, you know how we play this game. Charlie, I'll start with you. When did you see Jason Takes Manhattan? I'm just going to call that instead of the Friday the 13th, Part 8, which is Jason Takes Manhattan.
First time was a couple years ago when I watched that box set. So probably 2016 or so, and didn't love it then. Don't love it now. But when you start with 7 other ones before it, you got to finish the series. So
yeah. And I will say I'm glad that my podcast allows you to get more uses out of that box set than you ever thought you would.
You're the reason I bought it.
All right, Nicholas, what about you?
As I've talked about on previous episodes, wasn't allowed to watch horror movies when I was growing up.
Right.
So this would have been the 2002, 2003 when they announced Freddy versus Jason. I was like, I'm going to see the movie. I have to see all of the franchise before.
Mm-hmm.
So like in a very short time span,
No,
I've
you
just
don't.
been, wow, that's just the way my brain works.
Yeah.
So I binged them all, and I've got my problems with this one, but it's fun. I mean, it's not good, but it's fun.
Yeah. All right, Laramy, what about you?
You know, I saw it on TV.
Hey, yeah. I'm surprised this one was even aired on TV. It was like, does anybody care about this one to watch on TV?
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it was WATL 36 in Atlanta. I'm pretty sure I watched it just like in the middle of a Saturday.
Yeah.
When I was a kid. Like, yeah. No, for some reason there are parts of this movie that I remember more than other Friday the 13th movies. So I don't know if I just saw this one more frequently growing up. Something about, like, especially the ending with him in the sewer.
Yeah.
I don't know if that just stuck with me so much longer. Like, I always remember that. I will say, though, when I rewatched it a couple years ago, I totally forgot about the cargo ship. I mean, the cruise ship that they are on at the beginning of the movie. Like, totally forgot.
Yeah, in the intro, when I say luxury liner, I was very generous.
Yeah.
That's the word. Yeah, very generous with luxury liner. So believe it or not, and you'll probably believe it, this was my first time watch. I had never seen this one before.
Congratulations.
And now I know why. Because it's definitely not in my top 7. I'll put it that way. So how long has it been since you rewatched it before rewatching it for the podcast? We'll go other way this time. So Laramy, I'll let you start.
Like I just said, you know, it's like
a couple years ago.
Yeah, a couple years ago. It wasn't too long ago, but because this usually is kind of these movies are kind of a go-to for me for like Halloween and Friday the 13th. You know, all those classic slashers like this and Nightmare on Elm Street. I don't get to watch them as much as I probably would like to, because I like bad horror movies. So even when it's bad, I tend to enjoy them. So yeah.
I've come to appreciate bad horror movies a lot more. Like, in the 80s is full of them. So it's kind of fun just to throw in an obscure one that I've never seen before. It's fun to watch.
Tubi is full of them as well.
Yes. The streamers have been a treasure trove of bad 80s slashers. So
I just recently watched all 3 of the horror movies they made about Popeye the Sailor Man.
Oh my gosh. The Popeye the Slayer. The Slayer is
this Popeye the Slayer Man. I don't even remember all of their names. But
I was just making something up. I didn't know that was true or not.
That is, it is true.
Gotcha. All right, Nicholas, how about you? How long has it been?
It's been a while. This is not one of the ones I go back and revisit. I mean, I think I'm going to put it higher on the list than 8 if I had to rank them, but not by much, like maybe 6 or 7. But, you know, I would actually have to sit down and physically write you out that list if you were to push me on it. I had to pull out my box set as well because apparently we're not streaming Part 8 anywhere. Jason took Manhattan, but he didn't take Peacock.
Yeah. What about you, Charlie?
I actually watched it this morning, so I am very familiar with the movie now. Very fresh on the mind. Quite unfortunate that it's fresh on the mind, but it is what it is. I actually wrote down all the things I like about it and the things I don't like about it, and I was surprised at how many things I did like about it.
Okay. So before this morning, how long had it been since you rewatched it?
2016. The first time I watched the box set.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah, it's not high on the repeat watch list.
Yeah. Keep that in mind. That'll be important later.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going into our new segment, which I've now titled "Risky Quizness." I'm trying. It's working. We'll see how well that trends here this week. Our Risky Quizness. So we do our little trivia game. I got 5 true or false questions. The guys get to work as a team to answer whether they believe it's true or false based on information about the story origin and pre-production. So let's jump right in. Number 1, true or false? The original script for Jason Takes Manhattan featured Jason climbing the Empire State Building, jumping onto the Brooklyn Bridge, but those were cut due to a massive budget required.
I believe it.
I actually know that's true.
Oh, okay.
All right, then. I guess true it is.
All right. Yeah. Yes, that is true. Writer-director Rob Hedden's initial draft was much more ambitious. He had written scenes at the Statue of Liberty, Madison Square Garden, and the Empire State Building. Paramount Pictures, however, slashed the budget, pun intended, forcing most of the Manhattan action to be moved to a ship or back alley streets in Vancouver, British Columbia.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, number 2, true or false? Despite the title, only about 5 to 10 minutes of the film were actually shot in New York City.
I would take the under
I'd
on
be
5
surprised.
minutes.
Yeah, it's under that would be. I would think.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think we
Are we saying the part that was actually filmed in New York City, like the one
Yes.
scene,
yes.
or the
Yes.
stuff that
Yeah.
was supposedly filmed
No,
in New York
actually
City?
filmed
Okay.
in New York City.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I'll go with that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, we kind of
Yeah.
we all kind of true. The vast majority of the movie was filmed in Vancouver. Only the iconic Times Square sequence and a few transition shots were filmed on location in New York City to save
Yeah.
on production costs.
I
All
assumed the
B-roll.
tran-
Yeah.
I assumed this transition shots were just stock footage they stole from some other movie.
Right.
A la Roger Corman.
Mhm.
Now, did you find out? Like, did they actually get like filming permission, or did they do that kind of guerrilla style? Because the fact
I
that
did
when they
not
come out
see
of the
either, yeah.
subway, they come out of the subway, there is a dude that walks by them that I'm pretty sure was nude underneath his coat. I don't know if any of y'all caught that guy.
I missed that one.
No,
Yeah.
I saw him.
Yeah, he walks by and he's like this,
Yeah.
and his coat stops like mid-thigh, and it's just
Nothing.
leg. Yeah.
I mean, it's New York City. Very
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah,
Right.
in 1988. Yeah.
Yeah, I
So-
think, and from what I heard, they had 2 days to film in New York. So, and then there's the one shot that we're going to get to, probably the best shot. And you can see on the side, there's like fenced off people, and it's people who knew they were filming and were like lined up. And Kane Hodder said that he would look over there and like full makeup and freak them out. So I think they had legitimate rights. I just think it was for very, very limited time.
They couldn't afford, like, it was so expensive to film in New York at that time. Yeah. So yeah. All right, you're doing good. Number 3, true or false? Part 8 marked the first time in the franchise that an actor returned to play Jason Voorhees for a second consecutive film.
True. Kane Hodder. Yep. Second of 4.
Everybody agree? I see shaking heads, but they can't see your head on a podcast.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember if anybody did it. No, I'm gonna have to give this one to Laramy because I can't disagree with him.
Yeah, I think it's true. I was trying to remember the names of them. I can only remember 3 and 2.
Yeah. So it is true. Kane Hodder played Jason in Part 7, The New Blood, in return for Part 8. He eventually became the only actor to play the role 4 times in a row, cementing his status as the definitive Jason for many fans.
Yep.
So
The only reason he didn't play him in Freddy vs. Jason was he was too short, because Robert Englund was much taller than him.
which is crazy to think about.
It is. Yeah.
All
Which
right.
is also crazy because I don't know if we're going to get to this, but the guy who replaces him is also in this movie.
Yes. I did read that, but I didn't see it in my notes. If you want to go ahead and talk about it, we can put it in right here.
Yeah, so when they're in New York, that he, the 2 main characters, Sean and Rennie, whatever name that is, they go through this diner, and then the diner waitress tells them that, this is New York. And then Jason busts through the door, which is, I love when Jason just busts through doors like that. He does it a bunch in this movie. But then the cook or the chef of the diner, Ken Kersinger, he is his eventual replacement. And yeah, like Laramy said, he's like 6'6". So
yeah,
he's a big boy.
Yeah, he did some of the stunts, some of Kane Hodder's stunts in this one. Only like 2 or 3. Kane Hodder did most of his own stunts, but I think this one he did a few extras.
But when you're playing Jason, you can't be injured, so you can only do
only do
so many stunts.
Right. All right, we're trekking on. Number 4, true or false? Director Rob Hedden originally pitched the idea of the movie taking place entirely on the ship, but Paramount executives were the ones who forced him to move the third act to the streets of New York.
I can see that.
I mean, yeah, I could see it. we pretty much did see it. So.
I feel like if I was reading right, they wanted to do so much more in New York that wasn't originally like they were supposed to be on the cruise ship for much shorter, but they had to expand it because of the budget. That, and they also didn't want to film this one at all. They had a whole nother sequel they had planned for it anyway. So
All right, so
So-
we got
false.
so Nicholas
I
is
mean,
going
I'll
false. Is
go
going to
with
sway
Nicholas. I'll
anybody?
go with Nicholas. He sounded
that's fine.
knowledgeable on that.
I don't know.
Nicholas is correct. It was false. It's actually the opposite. Heaton's original pitch was all about the city, but Paramount told him they couldn't afford it. Heaton later joked the movie should have been called Jason Takes a Cruise because so much of it takes place on the SS Lazarus. All right, last one. This will probably the hardest one, but or the one that probably you don't know that much about. True or false? The actor who played the boxer Julius, who famously gets his head knocked off, actually broke his hand during the filming of the rooftop fight scene because he hit Kane Hodder's mask with a real punch. True or false?
That's true. I know that was true too, because he bloodied his knuckles and he was actually hitting Kane the whole time.
Yep. Charlie knows his stuff. It's true. Actor V.C. Dupree really did injure his hand during the filming of the rooftop scene. He had to throw dozens of punches at Kane Hodder, even though Hodder was wearing padding. The repetitive impact against the hard plastic of the hockey mask caused Dupree's hand to swell and eventually fracture. But yeah, I did read like Kane Hodder told me, was like, don't pull any punches. I'm a stuntman. Just go ahead and go for it. So he was actually like throwing those hits. I want to know how slippery that roof was though, because every time he threw a punch, it was like he was always slipping and sliding. So I was like, oh, it's gotta be bad. But all right, good job. I think that's the first time we've had a full sweep that all were answered correctly. So the first championship team. Here we go. So congratulations. So let us know how you did, listeners, in the quiz as well. Leave us a comment or send us a message. So
What's our prize, Tim?
you get to come back for another episode.
That's big.
Unfortunately, it won't be another Friday the 13th episode because there are no more to cover. All right, so the abbreviated version of the story in pre-production. After the underwhelming performance of The New Blood, Paramount was flooded with wild pitches for a sequel, including a rematch with the telekinetic Tina Shepard and a bizarre twist where Jason's rival Nick was the real killer. Ultimately, the studio handed the keys to debut director Rob Heaton, whose mission was simple: get Jason out of that stupid lake. Heaton's initial vision was a sprawling, high-octane urban massacre featuring Jason crashing Broadway plays, brawling at Madison Square Garden, and diving off the Statue of Liberty. However, when faced with the cold reality of a tight Paramount budget, the grand Manhattan epic was scaled back to a hybrid voyage. To keep the project under wraps, the film moved forward under the secret title Ashes to Ashes, trading the bright lights of New York City for the claustrophobic corridors of a cruise ship with just enough Big Apple left in the script to keep the title alive.
Sure.
Anything to add?
Yeah. It's like waiting for Godot. That's what it.
Yeah, kind of like you said, Tim. Instead of Jason Takes a Cruise, I heard the Friday the 13th on a boat.
On a boat. Yeah.
On a boat. And it's crazy because this was my first time watch. Like, I did not know that it was going to take place on a ship until I started watching. And I was like, okay, this isn't what I expected, which I'm sure is what every person that went to see the movie thought the same thing. It's like, it's Jason Takes Manhattan. Why are we not in the city? And why 40 minutes into the movie are we still on the boat? So
why an hour into the movie are we still on the boat?
Yeah.
And how does Crystal Lake attach to the Atlantic Ocean?
Yes.
That's what I want to know.
Don't ask questions.
Right.
But how does a ship that big start in Crystal Lake?
Well, see, I don't think that it's the boat that he attacks the couple on is in Crystal Lake.
Oh, okay.
And then it drifts to where the other one is. Even though these are the seniors of Crystal Lake High School or whatever.
Yeah, who knows?
Like 9 kids, like not very many, like for that big of a cruise ship with nobody else on it.
Right. I was like, calling it a cruise ship was really, once again, very generous because it was, I guess you'd be like maybe like a dinner cruise ship, but there really wasn't. It didn't feel like a cruise ship. It felt like a party boat. A party boat No, but it was
Yeah,
more like
I
a freight
called it a cargo ship.
cargo ship. Yeah, that's what it really felt like, a cargo ship, which is
And it
probably all
looked
they
like
could
a cruise
afford.
ship. You had the sauna, you had the dance floor, you
Well,
had
yeah.
the everything else.
Yeah.
There was some
Okay.
deck chairs. Yeah.
A few,
Yeah,
yeah. I got you.
Shuffleboard.
Speaking of how did it get out of the lake? Many of the actors pointed out to themselves a plot hole earlier in the filming of the movie. They wondered how the ship got out of Crystal Lake and into the Atlantic Ocean. Since most of them were just happy to be in a film, they didn't bring it up to the producer or director during the filming.
Yeah.
So, but even they knew, like, how is this even possible? Shut up, man! You're in a movie. So,
I also needed a shot underwater because clearly while they were in the raft, Jason is walking underneath them
yeah,
because he arrives
Yes,
in Manhattan
yes,
the
yes.
exact same time they
Yes.
do.
As they were when they were like, "Oh, it's the Statue of Liberty. We're in New York," and I'm thinking, "There's no other boats around." I was like, "Jason, is he just like, sorry, is he like holding on to like the underneath the raft, waiting to get there?" I'm like, "Well, why? They're right there. He could just kill them all. He could deflate the raft right then, and the movie's
Yeah.
over." So,
No, he is on the ocean floor.
Just walking.
He's just walking. Just
and watching them. Yeah.
watching them as he walks.
Yeah.
I
Because
mean,
it's just like the end of the movie. Like, you talked about raising the body count. The number of people Jason just passes by chasing these two people
Right.
makes no sense.
I mean, well, Jason's transportation powers are in full tilt. I mean, it's always been crazy in the franchise anyway. Like everybody's running at full speed trying to get
Yeah.
away from him,
Mhm.
and then they trip and they turn around and he's right there. I mean,
Mhm.
this one, the guy went to climb a mast, looks down, sees him, looks back up, turns back around, and Jason's ripping him off.
Yeah.
Like, so, I mean, clearly at this point we've gone full supernatural Jason, and he has some sort of like transporter device. Like,
They also, though, and I don't know if it was just Kane Hodder's performance, but Jason goes a little bit backwards a little bit and almost turns back into like the hunter Jason from like
Mhm.
going back to like part 2.
Yeah.
You know, where he's actually like he's thinking about what he's doing,
Mhm.
and which is, it's weird after seeing, you know, like 6 and 7 where he is just full on monster at that
Mhm.
point. I mean, the fact that he turns around and takes his mask off
Yeah.
just to scare the 4 kids.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
weird
I
choices. Weird
I
choices.
did find it interesting that in a pure killing machine who just kills everybody and everything in every other movie, like on the subway, he just walks by
Mhm.
and doesn't just like
Pushes
lop
that
head-
one woman. Yeah.
like doesn't lop heads off while he's walking by them. You know,
Mhm.
just like I want to kill those two, and that's
and
it.
that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, same thing in the diner when after he throws the cook, like he just stares down the waitress as he walks by her. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, come on. Kill somebody, Jason.
So
That's
you're
what we're here
saying-
for.
Yeah. I didn't pay for you to look at people. I can't pay for you.
I didn't pay for you to take a tour of Manhattan.
Right.
I mean, to
I
be
mean-
fair, it was probably the first time Jason ever left Crystal Lake.
Yeah.
So,
Sure.
Except no,
Oh, yeah.
wait.
Oh
Was
no,
it
that's
was
right.
it part 2 when he somehow
Yeah.
finds his way to the girl's house in the suburbs
Right.
and kills her in her kitchen?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that is true. He did a couple times go to the suburbs and then come right back, but it's the
Yeah.
first time he's ever been to the big city.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he had to take it all in as soon as he got up there. Oh, pretty lights.
Like Nicholas was saying, the whole teleportation, it gets kind of frustrating because it's just like selective teleportation. You know, when he throws the uncle out of the window, like that was super
Mhm.
cool. But then why doesn't he use it on the train? Why doesn't he use it catching back up to the final girl and the guy? He just chooses when the plot tells him
Mhm.
to teleport. That's when he teleports.
It's almost like the weeping angels from Doctor Who. If you look at him, he can't do it.
Mm.
I'm probably about to go off on a tangent. I'm gonna warn you.
Go ahead.
The fact that he's underwater at the beginning of the movie, he comes out from under the water. He's clearly walking underwater when they're on the raft. He has no problem with water. until the end of the movie when
But
he
it's-
is all of a sudden terrified of water.
But
I
this
know
is
it's
toxic waste
toxic
water.
He
waste
doesn't
water.
know that.
Yeah.
Plus we get the really bad mask puppet doing don't let me
Yeah.
drown, mommy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't let me. Which brings me to my tangent.
Oh, that wasn't the tangent? Okay, part
No,
2. Go ahead.
they have established that Jason, in fact, did not drown as a child. That was retconned in part 2, right after
Mhm.
the first movie, that he survived and then lived in the woods.
Yes.
And he doesn't die until part 4, comes back in part 6 as a zombie. He never drowned as a child. So the whole thing that they wrap around this movie about him drowning as a child and about him being a child and her constantly seeing him as a child,
Yes. Which
and then
doesn't
him
make sense
reverting
either.
back to a child makes
Yeah.
no sense.
Yeah.
What? Follow your own canon? Pish posh.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Because
was
we'll never get to the one that we're not going to talk about, so part 9, which really just throws all canon out the window
Yeah.
altogether.
He can just eat his heart and you'll become Jason.
Yeah. Yeah, I even like all of the scenes of her seeing him as a kid and like the visions, like, okay, were they trying to like somewhat connect it to the last movie with the telekinetic power stuff? Like it was it was bad.
I think it was just
was.
because the main girl was scared of water and they were trying to, oh, Jason's also afraid of water for this
Right.
thing that never happened.
Yeah.
But he's not, as
Yeah.
he clearly shows in
Right.
every scene. But the
She's clearly terrified of water, and then why did it take, the end of the movie for her to have that one flashback where she remembers that the guy threw her in the water to try to, like, what a horrible thing to do.
worst uncle ever.
Yeah.
Not when she gets thrown in the water.
Yeah.
Like, you would think that might be a triggering event of like, oh wait, this happened before.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's take a pause from there and jump into the cast. Lots of people that we only see in this movie, so we'll go through these pretty quick. There's a few, but before we jump into who's actually in the movie, we'll mention that Lar Park Lincoln originally wanted to sign on to reprise her role as Tina Shepard in Part 8, but she wanted a higher salary than she was paid for The New Blood. Go figure that one. Paramount told her that their budget could not afford to pay her any more than what she bargained for, and because of this, she turned down the part. Thus, Paramount decided to rewrite the entire script for Part 8 to take the movie in a whole new direction, which later completely excluded the character of Tina altogether, as they decided they didn't want anyone from Part 7 to return. Like, there were so many of them to return from Part 7.
So this would have been Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood, Part 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
The
title.
new blood.
Yeah. Yeah, the new blood. All right, so cast Jensen Daggett as Rennie Wickham. She has appeared in this movie as well as Major League Back to the Minors, the one Major League movie we don't talk about. She had a recurring role as Nancy Taylor on Home Improvement.
Home Improvement. That's what I knew her from.
Yeah. And that's it. That's where we know her from.
Nope, I knew her from Home Improvement. That's
And then we've got Scott Reeves as Sean Robertson. All of these character names are like the first time seeing them because I didn't know anybody's name in this movie. He's known for playing the roles of Ryan McNeil on the CBS daytime soap opera The Young and the Restless.
The Young and the Restless.
From 91 to 2001. He played Steven Weber on the ABC daytime soap opera General Hospital from 2009 to 2013, and then returned in 2024. I won't go into what the plot twist was there. And he was also Noel Loughlin on the ABC series Nashville from 2014 to 2016.
Okay. Nope, I knew him from Young and the Restless. That was my mom and grandmother and all that soap opera from when I was a kid. So, home from school or being babysat, that was it. I can even remember he was Victoria Newman's boyfriend on that show.
Okay. You remember more than I did.
Yep.
I only know him from this movie.
All right, then we've got Barbara Bingham as Colleen Van Dusen. Her screen credits and credit include this movie, Soldier's Fortune, Cop Target, Beyond Darkness, Dread House Dark, and Romance on the Menu, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 movies I've never heard of.
Never heard of.
But
I also love that she gets a death that we don't see.
Yes, yeah,
don't even show her like fighting to get out of the car or anything.
Nope.
And they never mentioned it either.
Nope.
They're like, oh no.
Yeah.
All right, then we got Peter Mark Richmond as Charles McCullough. His numerous roles included appearances in The Twilight Zone, 1959, The Fugitive, 1963, The Virginian, 1962, Mission Impossible, 1966. He was also on Star Trek: The Next Generation. He came across like as just a very like one-dimensional character. Like most of them are very one-dimensional, but like his delivery was just it was very much like a TV actor of the 70s and 80s. So which shows definitely.
I mean, he wasn't he?
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's why I came across that way. And I will say, like, I don't know if it was necessarily the directing or the acting, but it's pretty terrible. I mean, overall.
It's funny you say that, because as the comic book guy, I can let you know that he was the voice of the Phantom on the animated series Defenders of the Earth.
Okay.
So.
He definitely had a distinctive voice. I just can't remember who he reminded me of. I should have wrote it down. All right, moving right along, we got Martin Cummins as Wayne Weber. His other appearances include the TV series When Calls the Heart, Andromeda, The 4400, Kyle XY. It's a lot of sci-fi shows there. He was on Smallville, Stargate SG-1, Life as We Know It, and he was also in The Omen 4, The Awakening. So, once again, I have no idea who that was in the movie, but that was what he was in.
That was the video camera guy.
Is it okay? That makes sense. Then we got Gordon Curry as Miles Wolfe. One of his breakthrough roles was playing Officer Pallone on 21 Jump Street, 1987. In 1991, after a couple of years working in locally shot TV and film in Vancouver, he moved to Los Angeles to study acting. His first roommate was Brad Pitt, which is why he makes the list.
It's good that he's known for something.
Yes. Yeah, there you go.
This movie and being roommates with Brad Pitt.
There you go. Yeah. I'm sure he put that on his resume. The one actress that I did recognize, Kelly Hu as Evo Watanabe.
Yeah, Watanabe.
She starred as Dr. Ray Chang on the American TV soap opera Sunset Beach, and as Michelle Chan on the American television police drama series Nash Bridges.
Yeah.
But her claim to fame is The Scorpion King in 2002, as well as X2 in 2003. She also appeared as China White in the CW series Arrow. And she also had recurring roles in The Vampire Diaries, which was filmed in Laramy's hometown. And she also has some some voice work on Disney Channel animated series Phineas and Ferb, Rapunzel's Tangled Adventure, and she was the voice of Cheshire and Paula Croc, the Huntress in Young Justice. This was her film debut, and she was the first Asian character in the series.
And far and away the most famous person in this movie, other than maybe Kane Hodder. But but more people could recognize her because at least you know what her face looked like.
Yeah.
And at least 2 of her 3 movies are good.
Yeah. Which one are you talking about?
I was about to say, is X2 among those?
Yeah, X2 is great.
Yeah, X2 is great.
Right. Yeah. Lady Deathstrike.
We won't talk about the Scorpion King. That's not on your top 10 list, Charlie.
But no, I love the Scorpion King. I meant this one's bad.
Oh.
No, the Scorpion King, I love him.
Oh, yeah. The Rock. All right, so last few here, we got Saffron Henderson as J.J. Jarrett. Henderson appeared in the live-action movie The Fly 2 and the romantic comedy Cousins, and that's it. She's the rocker that gets killed by Jason Voorhees with her own guitar. So,
yeah, she's a voice actor though, isn't she? Yeah.
She was a singer as well. So she was part of like some band at the time. And then who we've been waiting to talk about all the whole time, Kane Hodder as Jason Voorhees. Of course, we talked about him in last episode, but he did say that one of the most fun parts of his tenure as Jason were the scenes in Times Square. He says that spectators were lined up and down the block watching the filming, and he didn't want to take his mask off to destroy their illusion of Jason. He said that every once in a while he'd turn his head and look at them and watch them all go crazy. And most of the cast had a Friday the 13th marathon and watched parts 1 through 7 the day prior to shooting. They were intent on making part 8, quote unquote, the best one.
Well, they failed at that.
Yeah. Mission not accomplished.
Right. Watching 1 through 7 was probably not the best. All right, well, let's talk about iconic favorite scene. So if somebody says to you, Jason Takes Manhattan, what's the first scene that pops in your head?
The billboard.
Oh, the billboard scene?
Yeah,
The
that's a
billboard.
good one. The scene, the 3 seconds of Jason realizing where he is, looking up, and just the panoramic of Manhattan. That was obviously the best scene.
The rooftop boxing scene where
Yeah.
the obvious mannequin head gets knocked off. That's I mean, if the first one I think of is obviously Times Square, then the rooftop boxing, and then for the wrong reasons, the last unmasking when he takes his mask off, and you're supposed to be like frightened by this. I don't know what it's
Muppet?
supposed to be. Yeah, like it just. But it like, because I mean, like earlier he takes his mask off and you don't see it, and all the punks run away. Like it's supposed to be so like when he goes to take his mask off and you actually get to see it, like I'm expecting to see some frightening, like, just ripped up face or just some like, it's a
Spirit Halloween mask.
that's generous. Yeah, I was just like, oh, that's
Party City mask.
okay. Yeah, all right. The Party City after the Halloween is over
After they
and
closed.
everything is 75% off. Like,
Yeah. The leftovers.
compared to the rest of the movie, that was one of the bigger letdowns. Like it was just like,
I do like Charles's death and chase. Jason is particularly menacing when he kills the uncle, and then the whole teleportation and throwing him out the window. That and then the actual drowning with the dead rat floating on top of the barrel. Just that was perfect. That was
Chef's
perfect
kiss.
Jason kill. Yeah.
Yeah, iconic scenes for me is probably like the scene of him walking through and with the gang when he turns around.
Yeah.
Once again, this is my first time watching the movie, but I know Charlie, you had showed me that scene like a couple of years ago, but I think you were talking about like it was the most expensive scene, or what was the trivia about that? Because I couldn't find anything about it.
I think it was something like that. It was something along the lines of they spent 2 days in New York, it's 90% of their budget, and it's on screen for a total of like 38 seconds or something. It was something. Put all those
Something
together,
about that. Gotcha.
and that's what you got of it. Him just taking his mask off. It's like, wow, that was wonderful.
Money well spent.
Yeah.
Him turning away from the camera, showing his face that we can't see, and then turning back around and letting them, run off and not kill them. So yeah, well done.
I don't know if this was something that was happening around this time with horror movies, but compared to some of the other Friday the 13th movies, the death scenes in this one are kind of tame.
Yes.
Like, yeah. Like there's not, I mean, there's I love at the beginning when he goes after the couple in the boat. He tries to kill the girl with the harpoon, misses.
Yeah.
Then he just kills the dude with the harpoon gun.
Yeah.
Like just drives it.
But
that's probably one of the more graphic scenes because you do see it punch into his stomach. Oh, that and the sauna. Yeah.
Yeah, the sauna. Yeah.
The sauna.
I mean, there were some unique kills for Jason. Like I don't think I've ever seen him use a guitar,
Sauna rock,
or a sauna rock. Like he used the guitar, so like I mean, he used an axe, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, the sauna rock one, yeah, that was. I mean, there were some unique kills in this one. I mean, there was. It's not the worst Jason movie. That one's the next one.
I was gonna bring up the alley scene where the junkies are about to, rape the final girl. One problem is they inject her with the drugs, which obviously does not affect her at all. She gets up, she runs, nothing affects her in any way. Like she doesn't have any kind of like weird
adrenaline
hallucination. Okay, sure. Yeah. But Jason comes up behind, once again, Jason comes up and in essence, it saves her because he kills the junkie by jamming the hypodermic needle through his entire chest, where just the needle sticks out of the front of his shirt, which I think is probably the weakest practical effect of the series. Like the needle doesn't even pierce through the t-shirt, like the cloth material, but it was just like, I was like, okay, this is where we've ended up on kills in this movie.
And I love that he picked up the needle. Like he's thinking about, this is how I'm going to kill this guy.
Right.
He didn't need the needle. Like he punches through the guy's chest.
Exactly. Yeah. And then of course when his buddy shows up and he starts shooting him, like, okay, we've seen this so many times. Somebody tries to shoot him and nothing happens. So
shoots him 12 times from his 6-bullet revolver. Yeah.
Yeah. Another scene I like is I like the hunter killer Jason, where it's silent and he's just looking around trying to find. So when they're on the houseboat at the very beginning and he's looking for the girl who's hidden, that even though it's only 12 seconds, 10 seconds, that's a good, like, that's the Jason I like. If they were to remake a movie, which I think they're talking about it, but like that's the Jason I want to see. The hunter stalker searching for your victim. So I like that scene a lot.
Yeah, I will say the opening scene with the boat is probably one of the better openings of a Friday the 13th movie, where it went right into like
it's the most
scenario.
Like a Friday the 13th movie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so it just completely falls apart after that for me.
Well, and it has to start with the random Deus Ex Machina of just like, because he threw the anchor down.
Yeah.
And moved the cable over. It just randomly happened to reawaken Jason, who immediately was like, "Hey, thank you for waking me up." Stab, 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 stab.
Yeah, and then I love how there's this huge electrical, explosion, for lack of a better term, but everybody on the boat is fine, and they were obviously still asleep. Like, did you hear that? Like, that there's all this like super explosion, and they barely even flinch, and it doesn't affect them on the boat. Like the boat doesn't get electrocuted at all.
Well, and the guy on the boat just happened to have the hockey mask.
So yes.
So that Jason could immediately put it back on.
Well, he needed a new clean one. We didn't want the one that's been sitting underwater for all those years. All that,
Fair point.
Yeah.
But it needed to be replicated because it had the axe mark from 3, and
well, and then and then she cracked it open in 7.
Yeah.
Timu Carey, she cracked it, so it was broken.
So he had to get a new one.
He needed a new one.
Yeah, and there was a big chunk out of his like left or right cheek that was missing from 7. That mask had a big chunk out of it.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's jump into some trivia. Maybe think about some other scenes. The original posters for the film featured Jason ripping through an "I Love New York" poster. In the first poster, Jason is holding a bloody knife, which was cleaned. In a second poster, for fear the blood was too graphic. But both posters were dropped eventually following a complaint from the New York Tourism Committee. Go figure.
Yeah.
You didn't film the whole movie in our city. You're not going to show our city on your poster.
How dare you make people believe that there's violence in New York?
Right. Which wasn't the tagline for the movie, like New York just got worse or something like that. Like,
I don't know how realistic it is because I've spent little to no time in New York. But like when he's on the subway, like stalking these people, like nobody is like freaked out about this gigantic like behemoth of a guy who has to smell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
with a hockey mask and weaponry and like everybody on the subway is like, I cannot be bothered by whatever this is. I'm just gonna stay like you're walking through Times Square, and other than the punk kids, nobody cares. Everybody's
nobody
like,
flinches.
We've seen it. Whatever. Just let's don't focus on it. We might have to get involved. Just let it happen.
Yeah, the poster tagline was "New York has a new problem," which I'm sure the tourism committee loved that tagline too.
Yeah.
But can we just say that the opening credits did not paint New York in the greatest of lights?
No.
But the prologue of the film foreshadows all the places that Jason will chase the teenagers. First downtown with the gang members, then the diner, the alley with the drug addicts, and the subway. So,
okay, I was about to go like alley number 1, alley number 2, alley number 3. These are come visit New York.
Yeah.
Look at our sewers with toxic waste.
Yeah, it takes you back to the late 80s where toxic waste was like the central plot of a lot of movies of like, you're destroying the earth with your toxic waste. And there's always some secret toxic waste dump that the city is hiding from the public. So
Swamp Thing, always Toxic Avenger.
Yeah. Yep. Oh yeah. There
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. They must have fixed it because nobody talks about toxic waste anymore. So it must have. They must have took care of it all.
The 3-eyed fish on The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Laramy mentioned this already. The Jason face under the mask in this film was designed to be much more streamlined than previous versions. Fans often mock the look of Jason when he finally loses the mask in the sewer, jokingly calling it the Muppet Jason because of its pale, rounded, and somewhat goofy appearance compared to the rotted corpse in Part 7. Yeah.
I didn't even know that. Nope, I immediately thought Muppet.
Muppet Jason. Yeah, I love it. That whole ending is just so ridiculous. We talked about it already. On the DVD commentary, the director said the original version was over 2 hours long and he cut the following scenes for time. Several scenes with Miles, who is shown to have been an Olympic diver. A scene at the beginning where Sean hears that Rennie will not be on board and is disappointed. Several additional scenes with Tamara and Eva. Before Rennie gets pushed into the water, there's a longer conversation between her and Colleen. A scene of Eva meeting with their group on the bridge and then leaving to find Tamara. A shot of Rennie touching Jason after he is electrocuted on the railroad tracks. The original script. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
Like, what do you mean touching him?
He's got the touch. The original scripted ending featured Jason being completely melted by the toxic waste and his soul finally being released.
I would have preferred it.
Yep, the studio changed it to him turning back into a child. So if there was a chance of a sequel, they didn't write themselves into a corner like that's ever stopped them before.
Yeah.
In the end, this hardly mattered since Paramount decided not to produce any more sequels after Jason Takes Manhattan because it didn't do well financially. They sold the sequel rights to New Line Cinema, whose Jason Goes to Hell the Final Friday in 1993 chose to ignore most of the prior sequels, and Jason Takes Manhattan in particular.
They also chose to just, you know what? We don't even need to explain how he came back. He's back.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
We're going to blow him up at the beginning of the movie. That's what we're going to
do. We can only Frankenstein him so many times. I mean,
that's why New Line turned him into like a werewolf. Because I don't know if you remember what he looks like at the beginning of that movie.
He looks really cool now. That whole opening scene is crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Next on my list.
Yeah. You can skip it too.
Yeah, I could have skipped a lot of them, but I'm a glutton for punishment. At this point, why not?
I'm about to say, finish them up.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm like Nicholas. Like, if I'm gonna watch them, I'm gonna watch them all.
In for a penny, in for a pound.
There you go. Talking about box office. Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, was released on July 28th, 1989 in the United States. The film entered the box office at number 5 for the weekend with earnings of $6.2 million. But the film faced strong competition at the time of its release with high-profile genre fares such as A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child, Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers, and Fright Night Part 2.
All masterpieces in their franchises.
Yes. Ultimately, it would go on to gross $14.3 million at the U.S. box office, making it the poorest performing film in the franchise and ranking at number 70 on the list of the year's top 100 earners. So
Wait, is Halloween 5 the one with Paul Rudd? Is that the Paul Rudd Halloween?
Yes.
No, I think
No.
I don't think Paul Rudd shows up until after H2O, but I could be wrong.
No. He was in one that we did. I think it was that one because it was one of the last
part
ones.
5.
Yeah.
Yeah, because 4 is it starts with Jamie the little girl, and then he's in the second one of that. So that was
So that should be it.
Yeah. Very young Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
So he looks the same.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
His Benjamin Button disease. Yeah.
All right, it's time to take a look at how well this 80s flick holds up today. Oh boy, this is going to be a fun one. It's the rewatchability nostalgia meter. It's our way of measuring how enjoyable a movie is for repeat viewings along with the waves of nostalgia it brings. Here's how it works. It's a 1 to 10 scale. Any number between 1 and 10 will do. Here are a few parameters to help you decide. At the bottom of the meter is a number 1. I saw it once and that was enough. At the 5 in the middle is a good rewatch every couple of years. And at the top of the meter, highly coveted number 10 means it's highly rewatchable and full of nostalgia. So we'll start with Charlie. Where does Jason Takes Manhattan rank for you on the rewatchability and nostalgia meter?
If you skip all the slow and boring scenes, we're still talking like a 2. I mean, you combine all the like quality, oh, that was cool scenes in this movie, and we're talking like 5 minutes.
We're talking a Vine video is what we're talking.
So it is quite low.
All right.
Put this movie on TikTok if you cut out all that.
Yeah.
All right, Laramy, I'll let you go next.
Yeah, it's probably, I was thinking 3. That was my initial gut. Yeah. I really want to ask, like, of those 3 that we just talked about that all came out at the same time, which one is the better one? Like that?
Yeah, I haven't rewatched The Dream Child lately, so that doesn't rank high for me. Halloween 5 was just I can actually say I think Halloween 5 was better than this one.
Yeah, I would say
I don't know
Yeah.
if I've ever seen Halloween 5.
Yeah,
And it's been even longer since I've seen Dream Child, so
yeah.
I guess
Friday Night 2 was pretty terrible though.
I never saw
one.
that either. So
That's actually the only one I haven't seen. I haven't seen Friday Night 2, but yeah. No, this is all of those are in the are low. But yeah, again, 3 was my initial. I wouldn't be upset with the 2 like Charlie gave it.
What about you, Nicholas?
I mean, I'm gonna go a little higher because I love this.
Dare you?
I love this series. Like, if you've listened to Pop Culture Roulette, you know that me and my co-host Jeremy have affinity for the Friday the 13th series. We routinely vote Jason as our icon of the horror genre. So there's a little bit of a. I didn't watch them growing up. I watched them later on, so I already had the appreciation of bad movies. Like I love trauma. Like I love trauma movies. Like Lloyd Kaufman is a genius. He's not a good filmmaker, but he's a genius. So like I'm gonna give it a 5 just because like I can watch this one every so often. I don't watch it. I don't watch it very often. I do like it better than a couple of other ones in this franchise, but not by much. Like it's not gonna be my go-to. But like if I'm gonna binge out on the Friday the 13th series, like I'm not like, oh no, not this one.
I will say back you up when what you said, Nicholas. I do think Jason looks this is probably his second or third best look in the entire series. I love he's soaking wet, so that just obviously, I mean, he's obviously constantly in wet environments. Hockey mask looks cool. When we haven't seen his face yet, but like the side of his head, and you can tell it's like discolored and stuff. It just, his look in this movie is very cool. I do like this look a lot.
And I'm willing to forgive a lot of just inanity that this movie has for just nostalgia. So, I mean, I understand why you'd want to give it a 2 or a 3. Like, I get it. I mean, I'm totally on board. But like, my own personal ranking, I'm gonna give it a 5. Not a strong 5,
Yeah.
like a 4.9, but like basically.
No, if I was giving it a personal ranking, I'd probably be up there with you because I mean, I said earlier, I love watching these movies just for fun, and I agree with you about Jason. I mean, Jason was always a go-to Halloween costume for me. So and as Charlie's saying, like I love the Kane Hodder look, the Kane Hodder, the way he portrayed the character, the way he moved. Like I always like he walks with his arms bowed out, which I think a lot of people when they think Jason, they are picturing Kane Hodder's Jason.
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah. I'm right there with Charlie and Laramy. I think I had 2 was my initial. But once again, I have no nostalgia for this because I didn't watch it as a kid. And it's not after watching it like I struggled to get through it the first time, so probably hard to watch again. But also like Nicholas, if I'm gonna start watching, if I want to watch them all again, I will watch it because I'm a completist. I have to watch all of the entries, so it'll definitely be rewatched again. So maybe 2.5, closer to a 3, just because I'll probably watch it. I will watch it again, but yeah. But so now that we've completed all of the ones from the 80s, so 1 through 8. Which one would you say is your favorite of the franchise?
I've said it on this podcast. It's Jason Lives. It's part 6 for me.
Okay.
I love that movie. I know it may not be the best story-wise, but it is my favorite.
Yeah. That's the one that leaned into the comedy of it all, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the one filmed in my hometown. So
there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Always helps.
2 or 3. I mean, just because that's where
3D.
There's. I mean, it's really hard to say any of the other after. I mean, the first one, because it's not really Jason. I mean, is hard to kind of put that in there just because it's not. I mean, it is part of the franchise. It kicks the whole thing off, but. I mean, 2, 3 is where things get really rolling, and then, like you said, 6 I think is where they really lean into the where
absurdity,
the absurdity of it. But yeah, so I mean, it would be 3 or 6 for me.
Oh boy, I would
Charlie's
say
like I wasn't ready for this question.
Charlie likes 5.
No.
I think there was a reason that I did 5 and nobody else wanted to. So.
Yeah, 5. Yeah, 5 is not good. I would say 3 was the first one that I really, really liked because that's where you get Jason in the hockey mask. I feel like the final girl, I think Tina, maybe, I don't remember. I think she's a very good final girl. I like the setting where it's on like this farmish kind of log cabin-y thing. But I also really like 4. I think Jason in 4 is much more intimidating, much more scary. He's more like in 3, he's kind of lazy. Like he's just like when he first gets the mask, he just like walks off the dock, all just like, oh, whatever. But 4 is when that's when he's busting through doors. That's when he jumps through the window to grab Corey Feldman.
Yeah.
That was the first like, oh wow, Jason, he's scary. But I do love 6. 6 is so good. You get the undead Jason, you get now he was always a little scary, but now we're in unknown territory. And that's when he becomes super powerful, like decapitating those 3 people at the same time. And you're like, okay, this is a brand new Jason. So to answer your question, I don't know. 3,
An honest
4,
answer.
Yeah, I would say 3, 4, and 6 are all right there. If I had to say one, I would say 3.
Okay. Yeah, I think 4 is my favorite, and I think we talked about this. I think that was the first one that I actually saw, so I think that was because it's the more nostalgic. But I do like, I'm saying with you, like that was the one where he was the most like intimidating, like busting through the window. But I do like 6 a lot too. So I think I'm kind of like 4 and 6 are kind of like I kind of go back and forth with those two. Not that I've seen them a whole lot. I think I've seen 4 the most, which is probably why it's the one that I remember the most. But yeah, but a good franchise nonetheless. We've had a good time covering them. At least I have. So my $13 well spent on Voodoo before it was Fandango at home, when it was one Friday the 13th. Like, get the Friday the 13th collection for $13. Like, I will buy that right now.
Yeah,
and
it's a good deal.
It has come in handy. So yeah.
So what are you gonna do for Friday the 13th now?
Glad you should ask, Laramy, because guess what? Next month we have another Friday the 13th, and we're gonna move up a day, and we're gonna cover Saturday the 14th. And Laramy's going to join me for that one. So if you haven't seen it, you've got a month to get ready. But it's a pretty silly parody of the genre, but
Horror genre.
Yeah, pretty silly, pretty fun.
Will we get to do the sequel? Was that in the 80s, or did that make it to the 90s?
Which was sequel of what?
Saturday the 14th Strikes Again.
Well, I don't know. That must be the 90s, because I don't think.
Yeah,
I have to pull. I didn't even know that one existed. I had to pull that up. So let me look.
Again, I signed up because I am a huge fan of Saturday the 14th.
And by Saturday the 14th, you just mean Friday the 13th part 2, because that
would actually happen
on Saturday 14th.
Right. All right, let us know where you think Jason Takes Manhattan should rank on the rewatchability nostalgia meter, and also let us know what your favorite Friday the 13th in the franchise is. If you agree with us that it's 3, 4, 6, or 2, Nicholas, which one was yours?
3 or 6.
3 or 6. Okay.
I do like 2.
Yeah.
I mean, and if somebody wanted to put 1 in there, I wouldn't fight them. I think I'd fight them on. I think I'd fight them on 5.
Yeah, we'll fight you on 5.
Yeah.
Maybe even 7.
I would.
Maybe.
I would, and I'd fight you
bad.
even harder if you said 9. Like,
yeah.
like I'd let you say 5 before I'll let you say 5 and 9. But
Really?
oh,
Okay.
Hot takes, everybody. All right, well, thanks everybody for listening. So, Nicholas, what's going on over at Pop Culture Roulette? What you got going on this Friday the 13th?
Well, probably nothing. With we've been on
Nicholas,
some
Plug. It's a great plug.
I need to get more excited. Every time I ask you, it's like, I don't know. We'll think of something.
Well,
figure something out.
we've been on a bit of a hiatus recently. Like, we just put out one episode, but then we took another break because of the Super Bowl. So I'm hoping just to get back into the swing of things. So I've got a lot of really good episodes planned. I just need to actually get back into a schedule.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
This holiday season really took it out of us. So
yeah. No, you've had a few good ones this year. So I like the recap, or going back and looking at your predictions from 2025. So I haven't listened to your 2026. What you're looking forward to in 2026 yet. So, but yeah, good stuff.
I'm sure we'll do a bracket. We haven't done one of those in a while, so it's coming.
March is coming up. You've got to. You can't let March go by without having a bracket, right?
Absolutely.
All right. What about you, Laramy? What's going on over at Moving Panels for Friday the 13th and Valentine's Day weekend?
Yeah. So for Valentine's, we of course always do our date night.
Mm-hmm.
And that episode probably should have already aired by the time this one's dropping, because I released a little earlier in the week. But over on our side podcast, King Sized, we are releasing an episode for this Friday the 13th, and we decided to tie it into Valentine's Day being the next day by covering Stephen King's A Good Marriage.
All right.
So yeah, we're gonna cover that one. But of course, when March rolls around, we are doing a bracket. So
that's right. Yeah,
we're gonna look for the best adapted villain. So the best villain that has been portrayed on film or TV. Nicholas and Tim both are joining me for that, and we're gonna let the listeners vote on that one. So tune into Moving Panel social media to vote for the first round. That'll come probably within the next week.
Awesome. Charlie, you going to be a guest on the other podcast here anytime soon?
My vote's Scar. he left an imprint on me when I
There
was
you
growing
go.
up. So definitely Scar. No, but I'm looking forward to watching My Bloody Valentine. So
Okay.
The original or the remake?
well, both eventually, but definitely the original first.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
got you there.
That's
yeah.
your Valentine's Day watch.
Yep, sure is.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. If you enjoyed the podcast, please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Be sure to follow or subscribe so you never miss an episode. We'd love for you to support the show as well by becoming a partner at buymeacoffee.com. Jump online and visit the website 80sflickflashback.com and our TeePublic store for some awesome 80s Flick Flashback merch and original designs. Thanks again for tuning in. Thank you guys for joining. I'm Tim Williams for the 80s Flick Flashback Podcast. School is out, McCulloch. Okay?